In today's session, we are looking at the best investment you can give to yourself. Welcome once more, and thank you so much for tuning in. I am Fifi, and in today's session, we are looking at what is self-development and how can you benefit from developing yourself in life. Self-development is a journey that we all go through in life, recognizing that with life, things change. And when things change, you need to move with the times and change as well. And self-development asks of us to upgrade, level up, progress, or even improve the status that we find ourselves in if we are not comfortable with where we are. So ideally, if you are not in a space whereby you feel you are doing the best of, or you are bringing out the best of who you are, you might consider looking at how you can develop yourself to be in a position whereby you allow for yourself to grow in life. Because here's the thing. If you do not allow for growth to happen in life, you will be stagnant, and when you are stagnant, you will start to perish, and when you perish, you would feel like your life is not worthy. But then when you start looking at what is it that you can put in place to level up, what is it that you can put in your path to upgrade your skills? It not only helps with self-development, it also helps with your confidence. It helps you with your outlook in life. It helps with progression throughout the years. And ideally, whenever you start looking at life as a game whereby you are in constant change and in constant progression, it really makes it easy for you to know that it is not done up until you are done. So ideally, you should start looking into developing yourself. And also, you need to be very mindful as to say, what is it that you are willing to let go of to allow for the new to come in? And what is it that you are willing to learn in order for you to progress into the next phase of where you want to be in life? And while we are doing that, we might also just want to put in there as to say, what is it that you are willing to give up in order for you to progress in life? What is it that you are willing to add on in order for you to move to the next step closer to where you would ideally want to see yourself in life? And the more you start upskilling yourself in order to get there, the more you get the traction into the journey of self-development. So the question that I would ask now to you is, what is it that you are willing to let go of in order for you to move a step closer to where you would ideally want to be in life? And also, what is it that you are willing to let in order for you to learn how you can progress to the next level that you ought to find yourself in? Because if you want for something new to come into your life, you need to let go of the old, especially if it's no longer serving you. And remember also, with self-development asks of you to look at the things that need to be changed, and things that need to be tweaked, and things that need to be let go of altogether. Because remember, with change happens all the time. And if you find yourself that you are not willing to move with the change, you might find yourself stuck. And when you find yourself stuck, you would feel like there is no progression in your life whatsoever. And when you feel like there is no progression in your life whatsoever, you would feel like there is nothing of worth that comes out of you. So ideally, you should be honestly all the time in a constant state of bettering yourself, on improving yourself, on asking yourself, what is it that I can do to make this situation better than it is. And if you are comfortable with that situation, then it's fine. But then if you find yourself that you are not comfortable with the situation, ask yourself, what is it that you can do to better improve the situation? What is it that you can let go of? Because at times we find that it becomes very challenging for us to embark on a self-development journey, because there are things that we are holding on to that are no longer serving us. What are those things that you would be willing to let go of in favor of you getting to a position whereby you start progressing in life? I'll give you a typical example. If you have an old mattress that you find that whenever you're sleeping on it, you wake up feeling very tired because it's uncomfortable and so forth, you would embark on wanting to buy a new mattress. But then here's the thing: when the new mattress comes, you need to make space for the new mattress, but then you would not be able to make space for the new mattress in the room if the old mattress is still there. So ideally, you would have to let go of the old mattress in order to open the space for the new mattress to come in. So ideally, with self-development as well, you ought to look at the things that are no longer serving you, that you need to chuck away, that you need to let go of, in order for you to open up the space for the next best thing to come into your space. And self-development is one of those things in life that genuinely asks of you to assess the situation that you find yourself in. Is the situation that you find yourself in ideal? If it is ideal, then kudos, good for you, I'm happy. But then if the situation that you find yourself in feels like it's a situation that is not ideal, it's a situation that can be improved, it's a situation that can be tweaked, situation that can or that needs another level of advancement, ask yourself, what would be the things that you would be required to put in place for you to advance to the next level of progression? And ask yourself, this is a very crucial point, ask yourself is to say, are you really willing to invest the time, the money, the space, the energy, the effort into making sure that you upgrade the level that you are to a level that would be ideal for you to start seeing progress and the little steps that moves you towards whatever it is that you want to achieve? And if your answer is no, then there's a chance that self-development is something that is really low on your to-do list. And if your answer is yes, then ask yourself, what do I have to believe about this thing for me to make the change? And whatever it is that is brought up, are you willing to work on it? And when you are willing to work on it, what are the things that you would need to put in place? And also, what are you willing to be in order for you to get to where you would want to be, in order for you to get to the next state or stage of your life where you want to see yourself progress to? Because ideally, if there isn't a willingness to move from where you are to the next best stage of your life where you want to find yourself in, then it would be very difficult for you to really make that stride. And with that also, look into the intention behind. What is it fueling the intention for you to want to level up? Because if the intention is fueled by good energies, there is a huge chance that you would be willing to want to make it work. And if it is wishy-washy here and there, you're not sure why you're doing it, you might find that along the way you get so bored, or you would not remember your why, and you would just chuck it away, and you find that you are back to square one. And when you go back to square one, you feel even more miserable because it is not something that you were intentional about it. So look at the intent behind whatever it is that you are doing, and make self-development a constant part of your life, because the other beautiful thing about self-development, I said self-confidence, well, self-confidence as well, but then self-development is that the more you embark on developing yourself into a better version of yourself, the more likely that when opportunities come your way, you are in a better condition for yourself to just take them and run with them. But then if you are in a state whereby you just feel like things are okay the way they are, yes, as much as miserable as I am, I'm okay with this situation, then it would make it very difficult for you to actually even spot opportunities when they are right in front of you. And I know self-development is one of the things that a lot of us would ideally not want to do or embark on. But then here's the thing. If you don't or are not willing to put yourself out there in a sense of saying, how can I upgrade the version that I am to a better version of myself? You would literally be stuck in one space whereby you feel like there is no progress, there is no upliftment, there is no moving into the next state of life. And when you find yourself in such a situation, it would make you feel like your life has no purpose to it. It would make you feel like your life has no meaning or worth to it, because you are stuck in not wanting to change. Because remember, like I said, change happens all the time, and change changes whenever change changes. Yes, change changes whenever change changes. So if you find yourself that you are not moving with the times, you are not moving with the change, you would find yourself stuck. And when you are stuck, that's when you feel like life is a drag. But then when you ask yourself is to say, right, hang on, in this moment, what is the next best thing that I can do to just upskill myself, to just move myself a notch up, to just level up to a position whereby I can be a better person than I was yesterday? And a lot of these things would require effort on your side, would require resources on your side, would require time on your side. But then whenever you put all of these resources together towards your self-development, you realize that it is a lifetime investment that you cannot afford to neglect when it comes to your own personal development. And again, the thing about personal development is that when you really make it a part of your life, it really also reinforces the amount of self-love that you are willing to give to yourself. And the more you see the correlation between self-development, self-improvement, self-leveling up, the more you realize that there is levels to yourself that you can always unlock every time you move into a different version of who you are. Every time you upscale to something that you thought you would not find yourself being. And given self-development is one of those things that also takes courage, and courage, I always say, it's not the absence of fear. Courage is knowing that there is fear, but then doing it anyway, because you know what is the price, what is the position, what is the vision that you have with regards to whatever it is that you want to upscale, upgrade, or level up in your life. So ideally, I would really, really ask of all of us to just look into this idea of self-development and be willing to really put the resources into it in order for you to get to a better position in your life. For instance, if you find yourself in a job that now feels mundane, ask yourself, what is the next best skill that you can start learning in order for you to at least add something on your vitae, for you to Did I say vitae? I wanted to say resume. Yes, what is it that you can put in your resume to sort of like give you that extra added advantage, so that when a similar job that you are in comes up, then you know that there is this extra skill that you can always put up front, as to say, yes, I am qualified with all of these plus that, and I mean, when you upskill yourself, when you start learning, when you self-develop, it is things that nobody can take away from you, and it is things that you learn, but then you benefit from them for the rest of your life. So ideally, self-development is just one of those things that I would really, really recommend that you incorporate into your life. And it would take a lot of self-discipline. It would take you stepping out of your comfort zone in order for you to really find that that nudge, that extra factor. Yeah, is it an X factor? Yeah, that X factor, that X factor that makes you. And the more, here's the other thing about self-development, the more you are in this space of self-development, it brings upon levels of self-understanding as well, because when you embark on self-development, you start coming in contact with things that you were not aware of yourself. You start coming in contact with things that you realize that you can improve about yourself. You start realizing that, no man, there has been these things that I have been hovering around me that are not serving me anymore. It is a beautiful way of actually taking stock of where your life is and where you want your life to go. And especially if you are clear with your why, your intentions around that become even greater. And when your intentions are greater, it makes it easier for you to really push with the self-development. It could be self-development around any area of your life, whether it is your finances. If you're somebody that finds themselves with finances that are in a dumpster, look at your spending habits. Look at where you are sifting money out of your life. Look at the patterns that you have put in place that are really sabotaging you when it comes to your finances, and start really being thrifty and savvy around saying, if you want a better bank balance, what is it that you would need to give? What is it that you would need to let go of? What is it that you would need to put in place for you to get to that? Like I said, it is not easy, but then it is something that is doable. Look at your physical appearance. Some people want to develop themselves when it comes to their physical appearance. You ought to understand that there would be things that you would need to let go of. There would be things that you would need to start incorporating in order for you to get to that physical appearance that ideally would make you feel like you have achieved some sort of self-control around that. Look into your relationships. What are the emotions that are draining your relationships that you can let go of? What are the new things that you would need to learn in order for you to master things such as emotional intelligence? What is it that you ought to allow for others to do or be in order for your relationships to find themselves in a healthier, better state? And if it's relationships that you have, that they like literally living past their sell-by dates, are you willing to find yourself in a position whereby you let go of them and really assess? Because remember, I did say earlier on that self-development also is an ask on you, as to say, how are you assessing your life? Are you willing to be in a state whereby you assess the things that are going on in your life? Look at your social life. Is it the kind of life that at the end of the day leaves you recharged or drained. And if it leaves you drained, what can you do about it? What are the things that you can implement or put in place in order for you to be recharged, and so forth? Look at your career, your job. I mean, if it's something that is not fulfilling, ask yourself, what is it that you would have to do in order to make it at least bearable while you're busy developing and upskilling yourself to move into a direction of what would actually make you feel alive and good with whatever job or career that you find yourself in. Look also into your vocation, the things that gives you life. When last did you embark on your hobbies that leaves you recharged? Start doing a lot of that, start being in that space. And last but not least, look into your spirituality. What are the things around your spirituality that are no longer serving you? What are the new things that you would want to incorporate? Assess that space. What are the things that you would have to put in place for you to really feel spiritually aligned and spiritually recharged? And the more you start doing those things, the more you are literally starting to pave a way with regards to your self-development, and the more constant the things that you put in place, or the tools that you use, the better your chances are to get you to self-improvement. So ideally, you should just be in a position whereby you really ask yourself, they always say you lie the loudest when you lie to yourself. So if you are unable to find yourself in a position whereby you can sit yourself down and say, is this serving me? And if it's not serving you, what is it that you can do to either improve it or chuck it? Because that's the whole idea. Can I use this? Or if I can't use it, can I allow myself to let go of it? And when you start doing that, you start coming into that space of understanding what exactly works for you and what exactly doesn't work for you. And whatever that doesn't work for you, are you willing to let it go? And whatever that works for you, are you willing to learn more of it? And are you also willing to ask for help when you find yourself stuck and not sure what the next step to take is? Because that's another thing, especially on the journey of self-development, that we tend to shy away from. We tend to think that we will do it by ourselves, our own way all the time, only to find out that now and then it doesn't hurt to ask. Ask others, as to say, okay, how did you find your way around this? Then whatever answers that you get, look at how you can incorporate them into your life if they are fitting. If they're not fitting, by all means, there's nothing wrong with just checking. But then now and then it would be nice to also just seek advice, especially from those who have done something similar to what you want to do, or to those who that they have went out there and achieved whatever it is that you also want to sort of like start fixing or achieving in your life. If you are new to my channel, please do consider subscribing and clicking the notification button to be notified when I upload my next video. And please do comment down below what you consider self-development to be. I would really love to hear your thoughts on it. And if you are on a self-development journey, how has the journey been for you? And if you're thinking of starting really assessing and looking into your life and the things that you want to start leveling up and progressing on, let me know if this video has helped on any level. I would really much appreciate to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. And for all of you that are returning to my channel, Thank you so much. Please do consider giving this video a thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithms when you do that. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification button to be notified on when I upload my next video. Most importantly, please do comment down below if there's any suggestions that you would want to put out there for me to consider. I would really appreciate that. So yeah, we have come to the end of this video. Yes, please do consider self-development. It is the best ever gift that you can give to yourself in your own life. And while you are at it, please do also look at the different areas of your life that you would want to sort of like put in things that you want to improve about them, and what is it that you can put in place to progress yourself in life. Because remember, the more you self-develop in life, the easier it would be for you to progress, the easier it would be for you to spot opportunities when they come your way. It helps with upskilling, and it also boosts your confidence. So those are some of the things that self-development actually does for you. And I think this is the biggest take ever that self-development actually gives to any of us. It gives you the opportunity to remember with yourself. It gives you the opportunity to start remembering who you are, because the more you self-develop, the more it becomes easier and easier for you to get to that space whereby you remember yourself, whereby you connect with yourself, whereby you become more of who you are instead of what or who you are socialized to be. So yes, it is one of the most important things I actually think are out there. Without any further ado, thank you so much for tuning in. Like always, I will see you on my next upload. Mwah.